You know how sometimes a movie sounds like the coolest idea ever on paper, and then someone somehow makes it aggressively boring? That's Cowboys and Aliens, a movie literally called Cowboys and Aliens, a title that promises the kind of cinematic chaos that makes your inner 12-year-old start yee-hawing uncontrollably. Gunslingers, horses, saloons, UFOs, what could possibly go wrong? Apparently everything, because instead of giving us the wild, unhinged ride that title deserves, they gave us Daniel Craig looking confused in the desert for 2 hours. So, the movie opens in 1873, New Mexico territory. A man wakes up in the desert with no memory, a mysterious metal bracelet on his wrist, and the permanent scowl of someone who just realized they signed on to the wrong script. He's Jake Lonergan, which, I'm sorry, sounds less like a cowboy and more like a brand of whiskey that gives you regret. Anyway, Jake stumbles into a dusty little town called Absolution, which is ironic, because what this movie really needs is absolution for wasting everyone's time. A kindly preacher patches him up, the local sheriff arrests him, and then Colonel Dolarhyde, played by Harrison Ford, doing his best I hate this paycheck impression, shows up demanding answers. And right when it feels like we're about to get some real cowboy action, boom, aliens attack. Finally, you think, this is it! This is the moment. Flying ships, flashing lights, chaos in the Wild West. But no, it's over in like 5 minutes. The aliens swoop in, grab a few people, and leave. And everyone in town reacts like it's mildly inconvenient, like the cows got out again. That's the thing. This movie completely dropped the ball on what should have been its greatest strength, the human reaction. Because if you're going to mash up Cowboys and Aliens, we need that shock, that awe, that pure, what the hell is happening hysteria. Remember Independence Day? People gaping at the sky, some in wonder, some in terror, a news frenzy, the whole world stopping as ships hovered over cities. That movie understood how to sell the moment of first contact. But here, these 1800s folks, people who thought thunder was God being moody, see glowing spaceships literally abducting their neighbors, and they barely flinch. No screaming, no fainting, no priests crossing themselves. No one even says, maybe we should write a letter to the president? Not one person thinks, hey, maybe the government should know aliens just stole my cousin. And don't even get me started on the government. Are we really supposed to believe that an alien invasion went down in 1873 and nobody told President Ulysses S. Grant? That no one sent a telegram that read, "Dear Mr. President, we've got a bit of an ET situation in New Mexico"? Not even a single panicked cavalryman galloping east screaming, "They took the sheriff! They took the preacher! They took half the town!" Nothing. Total silence. Apparently, the aliens only picked the one town where nobody owns a horse fast enough to reach the next settlement. This is the 1800s. People wrote entire love letters by candlelight faster than these folks reacted to spaceships. And that's what makes it even worse. This movie needed that cowboy machismo, that grit, that swagger, that not in my damn town energy. Cowboys were the action heroes before action heroes existed. These were people who stared down rattlesnakes, bandits, and the occasional outlaw gang before breakfast. You're telling me that these same guys see an alien from another galaxy and don't even spit tobacco and mutter, "Let's get the horses." Where was the bravado? Where was the showmanship? We needed sweaty, cigar-chomping, gunslinging machismo. A posse of dusty legends staring down flying saucers like it was just another bar fight. If any movie ever screamed for a yee-haw, welcome to Earth moment, it was this one. Imagine it. A group of grimy cowboys, hats tipped low, revolvers loaded, standing in front of a burning town as UFOs hover overhead. One of them looks at the others and growls, "Boys, saddle up." Boom. That's the movie we deserved. But no. Instead, Cowboys and Aliens thought we wanted emotional trauma. An outlaw with amnesia crying over his dead girlfriend. Like, sir, there are literal extraterrestrials vaporizing cattle, and you're processing feelings? Priorities, Jake. Priorities. This should have been Independence Day with spurs. Men in black, but with dust and whiskey. We should have seen the Wild West lose its collective mind. The preacher quoting Revelations. The native tribes interpreting the invasion as a spiritual omen. Settlers trying to shoot the sky. People trying to bargain with the aliens. The raw, chaotic awe of first contact through the eyes of humanity's roughest, toughest survivors. Instead, we got Daniel Craig brooding in the desert, while Harrison Ford growls like a man who wishes he were back in Star Wars. Olivia Wilde tries her best as Ella, who, plot twist, turns out to be a good alien, but by then it's too late. The movie's too busy philosophizing about gold and guilt to notice we're dying of boredom. And speaking of gold, why are the aliens even here? They came across the galaxy for gold. They're literally cosmic prospectors. You're telling me advanced beings capable of interstellar travel are obsessed with a metal you can buy at Kay Jewelers? It's like if NASA went to Mars just to steal their sand. Meanwhile, the action scenes we do get are fine, but they lack that punch. It's all shot so seriously, so self-consciously gritty, that it forgets to have fun. The movie refuses to embrace its own absurdity. And that's fatal. If you're gonna call your movie Cowboys and Aliens, you have to commit. You can't wink at the audience, you have to lean in, full throttle, hat first. You've got to have the confidence of Will Smith punching an alien in the face and saying, "Welcome to Earth." That's the gold standard. That's the kind of audacious, larger-than-life energy we were robbed of here. Even Independence Day, set a century later, had more cowboy spirit than Cowboys and Aliens. That's the ultimate insult. Will Smith was a fighter pilot, not even a cowboy, and yet he had more Wild West machismo in one punch than this entire movie. This film could have been legendary. Imagine if Roland Emmerich directed it. We'd have had alien motherships over Monument Valley and cowboys riding horses with alien rifles. Or Michael Bay, explosions, slow-motion revolvers, the American flag waving as some outlaw rides into battle. Or Spielberg, giving us awe, emotion, terror, and wonder all at once. Instead, we got a movie that looked at the words cowboys and aliens and said, what if it were just cowboys with some aliens sprinkled in? It's not bad enough to be fun. It's not good enough to remember. It just exists. By the end, the aliens blow up, the townsfolk rebuild, Daniel Craig rides off into the sunset, and the audience rides off wondering what could have been. So yeah, Cowboys and Aliens had everything it needed to become a classic. Cowboys. Aliens. A setting that begged for mayhem. But it chickened out. It traded fun for brooding, imagination for confusion, and yeehaw energy for a sad little meh. A movie that should have punched an alien in the face, instead shot itself in the foot. And that's Cowboys and Aliens. The movie that promised us Will Smith-level chaos and gave us Daniel Craig with emotional damage instead. Honestly, I still can't believe a film with that title managed to be that boring. Cowboys and Aliens. You'd have to actively try to make that dull. But hey, what do you think? Did Cowboys and Aliens deserve its bad reputation, or do you secretly love it for what it tried to be? Maybe you're one of those people who thinks Daniel Craig punching a UFO with his wrist blaster was cinema. Either way, sound off in the comments. I want to know what you'd have done differently. Would you have gone full Independence Day with saloons and six-shooters? Would you have had the president ride into battle on horseback yelling, "Yeehaw! Welcome to Earth"? Let's build the better version of this movie together. Because clearly, Hollywood dropped the ball. If you enjoyed this video, and if you agree that this movie desperately needed more cowboy machismo and at least one alien uppercut, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next cinematic disaster we lovingly roast here. Because let's face it, bad movies age, but good roast videos are forever.